Good morning, class, and welcome back. I'm sure you guys have some stories to tell about your experiences during the COVID-19 lockdown. The one lone assignment I asked of you was to keep a journal of the events happening in your lives and the lives of your families and friends. Your next course of action is to turn your journal excerpts into short stories. But before we delve into that, I've scheduled for today a speaker, someone you're familiar with and who wants to talk to us about the aftermath of COVID-19.
The aftermath? The aftermath is us getting back to business as usual. I need this class to graduate in May, and I want to hit the ground running.
Understood, Mrs. Cameron. But there's a very little spoken of aspect which occurred as we dealt with the coronavirus. It's very important in that it will affect Earth for decades to come. And based upon our response, the effects can be detrimental or not. Our future decisions will determine its outcome.
Mr. P, you're talking about the effect the lockdown had on the environment, on the level of pollution and stuff like that, right?
You are so right. And Professor Aberlight, Dean of Environmental Studies, wants to come in and have a conversation with us about it.
Professor Aberlate? I loved her Environmental Science 203 class last fall. Career goes for sure.
Good morning, Professor. Class, Professor Aberlight.
Good morning, students. I first want to welcome you back, as I'm sure you're all happy to be back like I am. As Mr. P has said, throughout this pandemic, our behavior changes have had a great effect on the environment. Yet, it's not being discussed widely. In my opinion, it's the most important subject in a myriad of topics on COVID-19, the aftermath. The effects that the reduction of human movement has had on our environment were first seen from space. Scientists observed carbon emissions decreasing as human activity decreased. Fewer vehicles on the roads and factory closings are two major reasons. Can you imagine that? Dirty brown pollution belts from country to country. They shrunk within days of each lockdown. Countries experienced carbon dioxide and nitrogen dioxide decreases of up to 40%.
Excuse me, Professor. Do you think this will continue to improve now that we're all back in stride again? You know, back to normal.
Well, many experts, and I'm one, believe that this is a glimpse of what the world might look like without fossil fuels. Just imagine, we could emerge from this disastrous event and enjoy a positive byproduct. A healthier and cleaner world. For instance, after years of relentlessly increasing pressure, the human footprint on Earth has suddenly lightened. Industries like air travel had been cut in half by March 2020, which is just a few months ago. Road traffic in the United Kingdom had dropped by 70%. With less human movement, the planet has literally calmed. How do we know? Seismologists have reported lower vibrations from cultural noise than before the pandemic.
But Professor, look what had to happen in order to create these results. We can't count on a deadly pandemic occurring every couple of years in order to save the planet's environment. It's going to take political, ideological change to squelch the US's dependence on fossil fuel. Radical change.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That is why I said earlier, our recognition and acknowledgement of how the pandemic lockdown greatly affected the environment is paramount in bringing about a positive change and a healthier future.
The future, young people, is yours. This is the most important time in the history of our planet. Political changes to save our planet and ourselves will be governed by your decisions. What say you?
Class, let's thank Professor Aberlight for dropping science. Literally.